Okay guys, so in the last video we successfully completed the development of our skill and we also deployed it on Azure and did a whole round of testing. So in this video we are going to talk about how to enable beta testing on your skill and some of the areas of improvement and the next steps. So let's start with learning how to enable beta testing for your skill. So to enable beta testing, you need to go back to your developer console, get inside your skill, and this time go to distribution. So inside distribution, the name will be already pre-populated. This will be exactly the name of your skill. These one sentence description and the detailed description are something that you need to put in. Okay, so I have put some sample text here. Ideally, you should be putting more detailed description, letting users know what all features your skill supports and what all things they can achieve using your skill. Now, moving forward, what's new is mostly used when you are updating your skill. You can tell what are the new things that have arrived in the current version. Next is example phrases. So in example phrases, you tell user what all the different commands that user can issue and get some responses. It gives them a starting point to how to use the skill. So I've added these three here. Now, small icon and large icon, depending on the size of the device where the skill is getting used, Amazon will show either the small icon or the large icon. So you need to select both of these. I just downloaded a random icon and set these here. Next is category. By default, it is selected here. You can change it. I kept it the same. Now, keyword is important when you actually publish the skill to the Amazon skill store, because that is how your skill will be found. Think of it as tags, which will help your skill to be searched by users. So privacy policy is a document that you need to host on your website or some other website where user can access that and read how you're going to actually deal with the data that you are capturing through your skill. This is especially relevant when you are capturing some personally identifiable information like date of birth, gender, address, etc. Next is terms of use. So this is more about what are the terms and conditions that you are laying out for someone to use the skill. If you have any of these, you can put in there. Anyways, these are not very specific to an Alexa skill. This applies to any software. So you can just Google it and try to understand this more. And of course, you can reach out to someone who is more knowledgeable in legal matters rather than me, who can guide you what needs to go inside the privacy policy and terms of use. So the next page is more about privacy and compliance. So Amazon will ask you certain questions like, does the skill allow users to purchase or spend real money? Yes or no. In our case, it's no. Does the skill collect users' personal information? So I selected no here. The point being, this is more of a testing skill that I'm using. I'm not going to send this out to actual beta testers. I will just show you guys how to do that. And I will just add my own email ID there to show you how to enable beta testing. It's just for a tutorial, so I will just mark it no for now. If you mark yes here, then you will have to provide the privacy policy link, okay? Or the link to the document where you are hosting the privacy policy. And again, if you are building a skill, even for beta testing, if you're planning to send out to a lot of people and you're capturing personally identifiable information, do mark it as yes and provide the privacy policy. So the next thing is to identify whether your skill is actually directed to be used for kids or not, right? So for my case, no, it's not. Anyone can use that. Does the skill contain advertising? No. So I said no here. And you will have to agree to the export compliance. Please do read it and then accept it. And then you put some sample testing instruction to the beta testers, right? So who will read how to test this. So who will read and try to execute those testing steps on your skill. Now we save and continue. Now finally here, you come to this beta testing tab, okay, or beta testing block. So first you say like who should have access to the skill, will mark it public, and then you expand this beta test. So once you expand the beta test, it checks if your skill is eligible for beta testing, right? So it will say it's not eligible if you don't meet the condition in the previous questions which were just answered. So if you're collecting PII data, you need to provide the privacy policy. If you don't have that, then it will not let you start the beta testing. here to start the beta testing, you need to provide a beta testing administrator email ID. So I'll go ahead and put my email ID here. Now, next is you can send this up to 500 testers. Okay, so here what you will do is you will have to put a comma separated or semicolon separated list of email IDs. So as I said, I'm not going to do a real beta testing for this, as this was just a tutorial for you all. So I will go ahead and put my another email ID. So I've added that email ID now. It's in here. Now I will have to just say enable beta testing here. So after like 30 seconds or so, my beta testing is now active, as you can see here, and it will give you up to 90 days to send the invitation link for beta testing to your users and get some feedback from them and incorporate those. But again, 90 days is not a hard limit. This particular round of beta testing will end after 90 days. If you want to extend it even after 90 days, you can start beta testing again. And I will show you how the email looks. So this is the beta test email that your invitees would get, and your friend can click on this to enable this birthday tracker skill. They will have to log in with the Amazon account, and once they log in with Amazon account, they will be able to access your skill and use it on their Echo devices. One more thing here, you can also continue adding more people. So it doesn't mean that whatever you add for the first time is the only one to go with. You can add more testers during your beta testing period as well. Okay, so that was all about beta testing. So before I go to the other topic, I just wanted to show you one thing here. So this is our skills build page. So at the end of this tutorial, what I will be doing is I will be pushing my code to GitHub repository, so you can access the backend code from there. For the skill code, there's nothing like code here per se. So what we will do is we'll go to this intent and go to JSON editor. So here, whatever changes we have done, right? Whatever configuration changes we have done, whatever intents we have developed, everything gets stored here. We'll just copy this JSON and push that to the repository as well. So you can download it, create your empty skill, come to JSON, copy paste my JSON and save it. Once you do that and save it, whatever changes we did in this video will be already there under intents. Okay, the endpoint and all is not exported because that is something that you will have to configure depending on where you are hosting your backend. Okay, so that does not get exported as part of the JSON. So now let's talk about some of the areas of improvement of our skill, right? So no software is ever fully complete, right? So there's always ways to improve it further, and our skill is no exception. So we just developed this for now to teach you how to build a basic skill. So some of the areas of improvement that I can think of is the ability to handle scenarios where two person has a birthday on the same date. We'll just pick up the first one and read it out, right? So ideally you should be saying that, hey, on this date, you have birthday for John and Mary if their birthdays are together. Okay, so that is something that we should include. Next is we also don't have the ability to search for a name where there are two persons with the same name in our in-memory collection. Okay, so we need the ability for that as well. Your skill should tell, hey, I found two records with this name. Here are their birthdays, one after the other. The next one is we need to do some work on the name search feature. We saw that during our development as well, that if depending on how Alexa is capturing the name, we should have some more intelligent logic to more accurately pinpoint which record or which individual's birthday user is searching for. And the last one, which I can think of now, is currently we are storing all the data in in-memory list. So we need to actually store this data into database. The problem with storing it in memory is whenever you deploy your backend application actually restarts. The moment it restarts, all the in-memory data will be gone. Moreover, if you're using a free tier of Azure services, the application that you get as part of the free tier is not always on application. What that means is that when if you are not using that application for some time, Azure will offload that application, put it to sleep to release some of the resources from that application. Okay, so I will try to cover some of these topics in upcoming videos, but these are something that even you can try before I come up with that video, and let me know if you have any issues. So those were some of the areas of improvement, but our skill can also have some additional features like ability to link to calendars, like say your Google Calendar, or maybe log into allow integration with Facebook to extract birthdays from there and preload those for the user. Next feature that we should do is encrypting the data when you are storing. So as we discussed during the privacy policy discussion, you are capturing indeed name from user, and even though we are not capturing their date of birth per se, but still we are kind of storing their next birthday. So you should be encrypting that data just to make sure that if your database gets hacked, right, you are not leaking out information inadvertently. And the third point is ability to send notifications. So your Echo device kind of starts glowing with a yellow coloring, and it emits a kind of a beep sound to inform user that there is a notification. So rather than user asking for the birthday, if they have not asked for a birthday and that birthday is coming close, you can also send a notification to the linked devices or phones that, hey, this birthday is coming up on this date. So that will be a great feature to have as well. But for that feature also, you will need to do this account linking thing that we discussed in point one. So again, I will try to cover some of these in upcoming videos depending on the response I get from this video series. Let me know if you want to cover some of these. I'll be more than happy to come up with a video to show you how to do that. And definitely your final milestone for your skill would be to publish the skill to the Amazon skill store. There are a few things that you need to remember before you do that. Your beta testing that you just enabled need not to be full 90 days. If your beta testing is completed before 90 days, that is perfectly all right. And also you can extend it beyond 90 days if needed. Once the skill has matured and you have done proper amount of testing onto that skill, including some of the features that we just spoke about, right, which are kind of required for you to actually publish the skill, only then try to publish the skill to the marketplace, because no one really likes a half-baked product which has a lot of bugs in it. Also, Amazon has a lot of policy and certification requirements for your skill to be actually published to the store. You can only publish it when your skill is certified. It's not very complex, but it has some steps that you need to follow, and some of those requires code changes as well. So what I will do is I will do some follow-up videos to actually implement some of the features that we spoke of in the previous slides that are required to complete the skill. Also, I will walk you through these steps that you need to do, or the code changes that you need to do to actually submit your skill for certification so that it passes the first time. Depending on who is actually testing your skill at Amazon, you might get some feedback comments, which you again need to implement and resubmit it to actually get certified. So don't get upset if you don't clear the certification in one go. It happens. It happened to me also. I will guide you there too. So stay tuned to this channel and I will come up with those videos very soon. So that brings us to the end of this series, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I would really appreciate if you can please subscribe to my channel and support the channel. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer those. For now, goodbye and stay safe.